At the end of the day, like I said last week, it's racism. Racism is the problem. And it's a shame that we as Black people, as the three of us sit here, have to think of what can we do to stop this? It's like asking a room full of women, what can y'all do to stop men from raping you? What can y'all do to stop men from grabbing your ass or fondling you at an establishment? It's a shame that we, the victims, have to try to think of the solution.
What up, what up, what up, what up? It's Three Brothers No Sense. I am Tavares Ferguson, a.k.a. Ferg. I'm joined with my co-host, Buff and Rozzy. Before we start off, we want to send a happy birthday shout out to our one and only Rozzy on here, turning 39. Birthday boy. So by the time you guys hear this, his birthday will have passed, but we're recording on his birthday, June 4th, this Thursday. And I want to say special thanks to all the people who will join our Zoom call Friday. I hope you guys had a blast. Rozzy, take it away. Birthday boy.
What's up, man? Thank you, guys. I want to thank everybody for all the birthday wishes, the gifts. I had somebody sent me an edible arrangement. I appreciate that. I was telling Ferg and Byron before we started, man, this was a hard one because for the last 10 years, Jenica is huge on birthdays, or was huge on birthdays. Like, that was her thing. She loved birthdays. And so for the last 10 years, I've woken up to a gift in my face, or like breakfast, or her asking me what I want for breakfast, getting a special dinner, like making it a big, big deal. And I was kind of dreading it and avoiding it. I went to work today, and so somebody, while I was working, they were like, why didn't you take off? And I was just like, oh, there's a little bit of avoidance. Like, I didn't want to have to think about, her not being here and everything. So I didn't want to celebrate for real. But like I said, man, I've gotten so much love from everybody hitting me up. The Three Brothers post, everybody who said happy birthday on there, appreciate you guys. Love that. But it was weird. Sophie kind of stepped up to the plate. Again, that's my baby, man. She did like a treasure hunt, and she made like 4 different gifts and boxed them up. And then she did, just little clues to each location. And so I had to like go down the little treasure hunt and go to each box and open it up. And so it was just really cool, man. She did like a bunch of little books she had written, like things about sea animals and things she likes, things I like, and that thing kind of stuff. She did the second gift was a craft she had made. She basically made me a birthday cake out of Play-Doh. So she made me a birthday cake. Then the next gift, it was just an envelope she had made with a piece of paper and some staples, but she put $2 in there. And I was like, oh, this going into I was like, this going into the Tooth Fairy fund. She's like, yeah, because this is my Tooth Fairy money, because that's the only thing I get dollars for. So
Tell her let me hold $1.
All right, I'll tell her next time. Let you hold $1. And then what was the last gift? Oh, and so then she made me, I didn't know why, but she was harping on she needed some mix for her Easy Bake Oven. And I was like, okay, you like Easy Bake Oven, cool. So for the last couple of days, she was been harping on it. And I don't know if y'all looked at how much Easy Bake Oven stuff costs, but it's like $14 for a single refill of the Easy Bake Oven mix. And y'all know me, I ain't paying $14 for no single refill. So I went to the grocery store, I bought regular cake mix, and I just divvied it up into like 11 different little snack bags. And so, boom, she got her cake mix for a smooth $3, and I got 11 servings. So anybody out there, if your kids got an Easy Bake Oven, that's a very, very good way to get them some Easy Bake Oven stuff. And so, but she took that and she made me a cake for my last gift. So she was harping on it so that she could make me a cake. So she did like all the gift stuff and everything. So it was just cool, man, that she really like made it a big deal. And so then my folks came and everything, and we sung happy birthday and ate dinner and that type of thing. But that was the highlight of the day, man, was just her gift to me. So it was cool.
Bro, break bread with my little goddaughter, bro. Stop being cheap, bro. Let that girl live. Let her live, bro.
She is extremely happy with these cake mixes.
I'm surprised you get it off.
I'll send pictures. I've even printed out little tags that like tell her how to make each one of them and stuck that on there. Man, I'm on this DIY thing, man. It's a single dad stuff, man. I'm
surprised you didn't get it off to like the Mexican black market or something. El Izo Bake Oven. No. Like it's not quite Easy Bake Oven, but it's almost like it.
Ferg did the face palm emoji.
Bro, that's that, bro. So what you got for us, Buff? What's up with you, man?
Well, I'm actually gonna take a page from you, man. I'm gonna steal something from you and just ask you guys. Well, Rozzy kind of told us, but just ask you guys, how are you guys doing, man? You know, it's a lot of crazy ish going on right now, and not just with George Floyd, but just this entire year. Rozzy just kind of touched on something he went through, man. So just, man, how are you guys doing?
Well, me, I mean, I've been in a somewhat of a rut, man. Like I just haven't been feeling like myself lately. Feeling kind of caught in a monotony of the day, being at home every day, working at home, with all the other stuff that's going on, to stay in place. Like it's been getting the best of me. I think yesterday I kind of had a small little breakthrough. I had a couple of errands I had to run. So I was out of the house for the first time in months for the majority of the day. And it just kind of reinvigorated me. And so today was a little better, man. But I'm doing good, man. Still tired, still a little bit overwhelmed. But today and yesterday were better than the last few days. And I mean, I really don't have a lot to complain about. It's just kind of that, how you just find yourself in that funk. Like it's just, it's been hard to be at work and be engaged, pay attention, almost waiting for somebody to say the wrong thing and then having to get your cool. Yeah. But I'm doing better, man. Like my job, my company made their statement yesterday. I give it a C plus at best. They at least made an attempt, and they actually kind of had a disclaimer like, we never make statements like this, but we got to say something this time. It wasn't full-fledged Black Lives Matter, but it wasn't full-fledged All Lives Matter either. It's just like, hey, we have to acknowledge there's some crazy things going on. I can't imagine what some of our employees and other people are feeling. So, we're here for you. If you need anything, let us know. So, but outside of that, then I think I'm doing okay, man. What about you, Buff?
Well, I'm kind of in the thick of things. We've had some protests come up there to the Capitol. So it hasn't been that bad. I know you guys have been seeing what you see on TV, but at the Capitol, man, from what I've experienced, because I still have to work for the Senate, and when they go out, I go outside and help out with that. It hasn't been too bad. Got one officer that may have went viral as he was like, actually having a dialogue with a group of the protesters, man, because they started out, calling them names like, we Black officers, we get it. So like when the Klan comes up there and protests, we got to hear that. And then when the Black people come up there, it's like, you on the wrong side. So
yeah.
So somebody said it. It's like we're too Black for blue and we're too blue for Black, which means that we're too Black to some of our white co-workers, but we're too police blue for Black people. So it's just been crazy, man. So the slight mourning that I was still going through over my mom and stuff, ever since what happened to George Floyd, it's like I've had something to focus on and just kind of take my attention and my energy. Like it's really consumed me a lot, as you guys could tell on the last episode. So I'm I'm overall doing all right, man. I'm taking my own advice and taking it one day at a time. People still checking on me. Me and you, we still try to check on Rozzy, and so all of that helps, man. And then doing this show with you guys, it's like one of the highlights of the week.
Definitely.
Yep.
Anything else you wanted to add, Rozzy?
Yeah, I always say that this is therapeutic. I mean, and it really, really is. I mean, and that's the same thing. Anybody who follows me on Facebook, you can kind of tell I use like Facebook journaling. I made a post at 3 a.m, just like Byron said, I've got something else to focus on. But at the same time, my post talked about how I was thinking about Jen, and I was thinking about George, and I'm thinking about the world that we wanted for our kids and how we can give it to them and everything. And like, you know, I miss Jen because she was my calm. She could calm me down with just a touch. But at the same time, like, it's just so much, man. I mean, it's numb, and I've said it a few times. You just feel indifferent to everything. So that's really all I have left now is it's either rage or indifference. And so, and I talked a little bit about putting on the mask, and a lot of people kind of questioned me on what the mask is, and I gave an analogy of it's when you feel down, when you're hurt, and Black people, we have to do it all the time, right? You're frustrated at all of this, but you still got to go into work and you got to smile. You got to have that conversation with your coworker, and you got to chat around the water cooler when you really don't want to. And the kids are being annoying, but you can't just go off on them. So you got to stay calm with the kids and everything when you just want to yell, leave me the hell alone. And, you know, that's the mask. And so I was talking about how you got to put it on in the morning, and it's exhausting to just wear it all day long and wait until the kids go to bed at 8:30, 9 o'clock. And now you can finally take it off and let it out. And so, and that's really what I've been doing. So, you know, I let it out in the morning before, wipe the tears away, put the mask on, and you go through the day, man. And that's kind of how I've been feeling for the last week, 2 weeks. And so it's hard because, especially since, you know, the George Floyd thing, it's like now it's even heightened because we're at home. You got COVID. We got all this going on. I have, you know, the loss that I'm grieving over, and I've got now it's in my face. I want to be out there protesting too. I want to be out there, but I'm like, I can't risk it. I can't go to jail. I can't get arrested. I can't do anything. I can't catch COVID. I can't do any of that. So it's like, it's a catch-22 because I want to be there for them, but I still got to stay here for the kids too. And so it's just like frustration all around. But I will say one thing. I am very happy to be here, and I don't live in Birmingham. I live in Hoover, which, you know, is outside of Birmingham. But Birmingham, they brought down the Confederate statue knowing that we were going to get fined for it. And so I am proud of Birmingham as a greater metropolitan area because they're bucking the Alabama, you know, the white politicians and the white power structure that we talked about in the last episode. So I'm glad Birmingham is standing up and doing that.
What would they get fined for? Is it because it's a national monument or?
Alabama, because, you know, when the Black Lives Matter movement happened, there was a big push to try to take down the Confederate statues and everything. Mm-hmm. Birmingham was going to take it down, and this is the MO of the Alabama State Senate anyway. But the Alabama legislature passed a law that said that no city can take down any statue. That's how they did it. That's been up longer than I think 100 years or something like that. So that's the way for them to preserve any Confederate statue that had been up for that time period.
Without just saying protecting white.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, and think about 100 years ago, who could put up statues? So ain't no statue that with us on it that's been up over 100 years.
Especially not in Alabama.
Yeah, and so that's the thing. So I mean, they set it up like that. And so what Birmingham did is they put wood planks or wood boards around the statues to at least block the view. And they got sued for that. And actually won. I don't think they got anything. And the court said that they could keep it up. So it's been hidden from view for, I think, the last 3 or 4 years or whatever. And there was a huge protest. They defaced one of them. They took one of them down. So there's a smaller metal statue. They took that one down, but there was a huge 3-story obelisk that was in the middle of Lynn Park. And protesters went in, they defaced it, they chipped as much away as they could. And the mayor of the city, he's a young cat, Randall Woodfin. I really feel like he's going in places, and he's probably going to end up being the mayor one day, or the governor one day, or a state senator. We'll kind of see how that works out. But he's going places, and he decided, and he made the call that he was going to take it down and take the fine for it. So the state fined the city $25,000. The city rallied around and raised the money so the city didn't have to pay it. So people from all around the state really gave to a fund to make sure we covered that. And the state, because they raised more than the $25,000, the state tried to increase the fine to match what we raised. And I was like, or over it. So then the city still would have to pay something. I was like, man, it makes no sense. It's like, if it's the fine and that's what it is, we covered the fine, we took the statue down, be done with it. But the state still wants to try to punish us for doing something that we all know is right. Good old Alabama, man.
Hey, man. That's crazy. What's been on my mind recently is, I guess, the picture I sent you guys the other day with the gentleman at the protest and having his young child on his shoulders, and there was a picture of a police officer pointing a weapon that shoots rubber bullets, in all fairness, at the man, looks like more so at the child. And the instant outrage I felt about that, and made me think, like, this is crazy. And what happened, like, shortly after that, was one of my coworkers they stay in the Seattle area, and they went to the protest on Tuesday in their hometown, and his father kind of was upset with him, reprimanded him, because, like, why do you have the kids out there? It's dangerous. And it made me think of that post, like, yeah, it's dangerous, but I'm like, when you really think about what's dangerous about it, that's crazy. The fact that we already consider something dangerous because of the presence of the police. I feel like 9 times out of 10, when you're in those situations, things get escalated because of police present. And we put that up in the group, and we had people talking about, kids are too young for that. Most of us know that kids were a pivotal point in the civil rights movement. It was huge for people to see that these kids, for one, care. 2, these kids that look innocent now are the people that you're going to be killing 10, 20 years from now. And there's so many pictures of them marching and protesting and stuff like that. And it made me think, like, why are we so scared of the police? And I pushed back on my coworker, like, ask your dad, what is he scared of? And he's like, well, they're out there macing people, and they're macing. They have Molotov cocktails, and one more thing, I forgot what it was. And I'm like, well, most of that sounds like police tactics. So even that the people that you have to worry about are the police. And that's what's crazy. And it opened up a debate, because a lot of our listeners and followers were talking about, kids are too young, they shouldn't be exposed to that. And it really made me think, because, about my daughter who's 5. I'm like, is she too young? And later that day, I think the question was answered, because we went somewhere. No, we were watching TV, and she was complaining about commercials. That's her life. That's her biggest pain in her life right now, is she's so used to being able to stream movies and stuff like that, that having to wait on commercials was the vein of her existence. And I'm like, man, we've come a long way, where her biggest complaint is she has to wait on commercials. It's just the kind of kid that could be in a in the middle of a march. And it made me also think maybe you're overprotecting kids these days. And so I had a whole thought process on that, just on that one picture. I sat there and had so many thought processes on that picture. Mainly the fact that we had to be fearful of the police and how they might escalate the situation. Not even just the killing and stuff we're used to, but it's just something as simple as a peaceful protest can go left field due to police involvement. And I'm not saying they are all bad or most of them are bad, but from what I see, that's usually where or how the things escalate. So I had to get that off my chest. Sorry.
No, man. It's been, I mean, just the responses has been crazy. One is that I'll just say that there's a lot of racists out there that don't know they're racist.
This is true.
It's crazy, man. I mean, I've seen some things that says things like, if you question why people are marching, then you might be racist. Like, just from that, if you're like, why are they protesting? You might be racist because you're turning a blind eye to it anyway. And I think we talked a little bit about that. I don't believe that they're racist. What I do think is that because there's a very, very difference. There's a huge difference in being racist and being complacent with the racist system. And they're really different. So that's my thing. I really think that they're complacent with a racist system, but they're not necessarily racist themselves. Because being racist, you need to actively try to perpetuate that system versus somebody who is just there and ignorant of just even their privilege.
Do you think they're really ignorant though, or
I do.
They just failed?
I do. I do. I think you've got to think about there are areas, even here in Alabama, where people grew up and have never seen a black person. There are people who grow up and they aren't taught the true history that shows the systemic reason why blacks are disproportionately live in poor neighborhoods. They think, oh, slavery happened a long time ago. You were freed. Civil rights happened. And all of a sudden, boom, you're good. And the generational wealth that has been passed down, the access to jobs, the access to loans, the access to money, the access that they have had over the years put them in a better place. And they still have that privilege. But when you grow up in a community that there are no black people, you don't have that privilege because you have it. You just don't associate it with it because everybody, 100% of who you're going against is a white person.
Well, I'm not going to debate you on that because this isn't the time, but I definitely have my opinions on that too. But really don't have much to say. Let's go ahead and pay some bills when we get back to the action.
Love, exciting and new. Hello, Hannah Waddingham here. Have you seen the fabulous new Sun Princess? World-class entertainment, exceptional dining, and the greatest pizza ever. It's
Don't miss our Come Aboard sale with up to 40% off and free room upgrades. Visit princess.com or call your travel advisor to book. Princess Cruises. Terms and restrictions apply. Offer ends 2/28/25. Ships of Bermudan and British Registry.
All right, we're back, and we made a special request. We want to really laugh today, so we're going to let Sophie tell us a joke. So, Sophie, take it away.
What do you call cheese that isn't yours?
I'm not sure.
Nacho cheese.
I knew the answer, and it's her delivery.
Very good.
It's your delivery.
Very good.
All right.
See, I told y'all my baby. She got them for days, man. I'm telling you.
It's you.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that helped your point. That might have been. We could have been laughing for weeks now. It's you. Let me stop because I'm picking on the crowd favor. Let the people tell it. So.
Oh yeah, he is, isn't he?
No, man. It's the sympathy vote right now. Give it a few months.
No.
I heard there's a petition to kick me off the show.
For what it's worth, it's your show, so
that's the only reason I'm still here. That's the only reason I'm still here.
For y'all that don't know, this is Ferg's show, man. We just got invited.
Yeah.
It's like the Temptations. Nobody really cared. Who was the leader of the Temptations? Otis? Like Otis. It was his band?
It was Otis' band.
Like Otis, but nobody cares about Otis. So, that's how it goes.
Y'all gonna kick me off from like, y'all just looking for another Orazio. Ain't gonna be no other Orazio.
Damn. We got there it is, man. I'm anti. But considering it's your birthday, Razi, and the people want to hear you talk anyway, we're gonna let you ask the first question, man. So what do you have for us?
All right. So this might be a short one, might not, but we can get into it. I remember at one point y'all asked me, or we had a question, and I may have asked it about what movies do you want to see remakes of, and you guys kind of got on me about the whole Soul Plane 2 thing, but I still think that would be a good part 2 because we need to get a better version of it. But anyway, I want to go down that road and rehash that argument. So I want to know what remakes would y'all want to be retold from another character's perspective? So, for example, Harry Potter from Voldemort's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that would be short because he wasn't around that long. But hey,
Voldemort was around like he was in the last 3 movies.
Yeah, the last 3. So but he's just and this is.
But he's still making things happen.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna. You got anything, Buff?
You're gonna have to edit this dead air. I need to think because this is something that I actually thought about before, but I can't remember what my answer was, Because if you think about Avengers Infinity War, it kind of is told from Thanos' point of view. You know what? This isn't my choice, but in the just for time's sake, I'm gonna say Lion King. I want to hear it told from Scar's perspective. Because for all we know, he could have got lied on a little bit. Like he's been made out to be the bad guy. So I want to hear his point of view. Like it may have been some injustices that Mufasa was running on the pride that we never got privy to. You know what I'm saying? Like he could have been mistreating some people. Could have been.
He could have been a lying supremacist.
You know what I'm saying? Showing favoritism or whatnot. So I just like Scar didn't just become born bad. It ain't like something happened.
Scar was a darker brother in the movie, now that I think about it. There might have been some discrimination. Put him in his place.
It really was. Scar was the only one that looked like him. So he was the minority in it.
So I'm going to go with that. Listen, before y'all get mad, because I know everybody loves Mufasa, I'm not exonerating Scar. I just want to hear his version, okay? That's it.
Yeah, it'd be like Joker.
Yeah.
Like when they made Joker, yeah.
Oh, yeah, Joker was dope. I just watched that a few weeks ago. Oh,
it was good.
So Mufasa. We have to go with the villain?
No, it be anybody. So I'll give you one of mine while you're thinking about it. So because I had time to think about it because I knew the question. But so one of them was I want to see a Batman movie from like a regular thug perspective. So think just a random dude that fell on hard times, got to feed his family. So
and this rich,
the Riddler,
this rich jerk.
And so you just there, on the corner, being a lookout or something like that, and then this random dude just jump out of nowhere and beats you up and start yelling, "Where's the Riddler?" But before you can answer, he like breaks your jaw, and then he keeps yelling, "Where's the Riddler?"
But that's a short movie, though.
No, because those thugs are still there the whole movie. So he goes to the hospital, has to come back. And now he's all scared, and Batman comes back around. I mean, Batman, y'all understand, Batman was a sociopath.
Oh, he's crazy.
And so I want to see that side of it where, like, basically, it could be one of our friends that, didn't make it out in the hood because he got to do what he got to do to feed his family or whatever. And now you got a vigilante running around beating people up and all that stuff.
Okay, I feel you. I'm going to go, and just because I guess I might be kind of militant right now, I want to see Killmonger, the movie. Could you imagine his childhood from day one, just from the day that plane leaves to him dying on that mountainside talking about the sunset? Like, that's dope. You know, like, because history's always told from the side of the winner, you know? So that's crazy. What's funny about that, Razi, is Killmonger is my first one, but I would like to see the movie remade and told at the same time from dual points. So, Byron, what's your favorite movie?
Menace to Society.
O-Dog. What was O-Dog doing all this time while Kane had this stuff going on? So, like, I'm a fan. If anybody knows me, I'm a fan of This Is Us. So they'll tell the same story, but it'll like be episodes where it's different. You know, it's Razi's point of view today, Ferg's point of view, Byron's point of view tomorrow, but it's the same event. And you know, O-Dog, like, here come this lame ass nigga Kane, always sweating behind Ronnie. Like that, I want to hear that. Like, I want to hear, like, man, he ain't never gonna get it, dog. Like, man, that's Parnell girl, man. He better. What's up, Kane? Like, that's what I want to see. I want to see, you know, like his side of the story. Like, what happens after Kane gets shot? Like, does he roll on these dudes? Does he get locked up? You know, almost like Boys in the Hood. The aftermath. You know, Doughboy got gunned down a few weeks later. Like, I want to see that part. So those are my two. I know you only asked for one, but that was debating.
Yeah, just any of them. I mean, yeah, as many as you can think of, truthfully. Yeah, if you got any others. A couple others that I had. I want to see Django Unchained from, like, Steven's point of view.
You talking about who's Steven Rising?
Samuel L. Jackson character.
I know.
That nigga on that nag. So think about that, like the whole time, like him in the background just talking junk.
That needs to be remade. Like, I would pay great money to see that. That would be hilarious. And almost his origin story. Like,
how did he get that powerful to be able to kind of run Candyland from the shadows like he did?
He did.
Like, the movie could end at nigga on that egg. Like, I want to see what led up to that.
So, yeah, but I mean, I was thinking about that because it's like so many movies. Like you said, the victor writes everything, right? They write the history, and so I want to see that alternate point of view. And that's kind of cool to be like, okay, let's just do it in the same movie. It might be disjointed. It might be hard to see or hard to follow for some folks. But, you know, it's a little easier for This Is Us because they can do it by episode or whatever.
Yeah.
Ferg, you first showed me that YouTube video of it was like an alternate explanation for Karate Kid.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Daniel's son was the jerk.
Yeah, Daniel's son was
that was funny, man.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I want to hear, you know, it's not always just like in a breakup. You got your side, she got her side. You know, that's what I want to hear, you know. Speaking of, any of the Hangover movies from Mr. Child's point of view. Like, I want to know more about him. Like, that dude is hilarious. Or Alan can have his own spinoff.
So I was going to petition Marvel to do a Thanos movie. I'm going to have to hit him up about a Killmonger movie, too, because the way you just described that, like, remember, he goes to Afghanistan, Iraq.
Dude,
all that,
that's
dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, that
could be a whole series. That could be, you could make him, like, Razi, you might be onto something. Like, if they can continue the MCU on the side, even though you know what's going to happen with the villains' origin stories. Killmonger, Thanos, I think those are the biggest two. Like, I'm trying to think who else I would really want to
because they're already doing a Thor. I mean, not Thor, but Loki. But Marvel is also
Loki.
It's an animation version, but they're doing What If. So, and it's going to be like, I don't know the exact scenarios, but it's going to kind of be like, what if such and such won, or what if this? So, but it's only going to be animation. So,
yeah, but I like Loki. Loki's probably my third favorite villain out of those. And at the end of the day, I would love to see how his story or how he developed or his childhood or what he was going through during those time periods. Even Loki as when he was acting like Odin.
yeah.
You know, that's my thing. You know, I want to see Scar. What was he doing while Simba was out in the wilderness? He had a bunch of lionesses. He had a bunch of lionesses over there.
They was running out of food, so he wasn't doing a lot, man.
Hey.
He was chilling. But see, that's only the part we saw. Maybe it wasn't his fault that everything was falling apart. You know what I mean?
He got Obama.
That is.
He came in on a recession, and it's so, you know, Mufasa had all this stuff, had it set up. They were already headed down, and you know, he inherited a bad pride, man. You know what I'm saying? So that would be dope.
Yeah.
So that's a good one, Razi. What you got for us, Buff? What question you got for us?
All right, so it's a little more serious. So I'm glad Razio started it off like that. We talked a lot about George Floyd last week, and like in a matter of days, I've already seen like, and they're mostly like social media websites, but I've been seeing ads for, you know, George Floyd, I Can't Breathe face mask, things like that, pretty much capitalizing on this man's death. Now the argument can be made that, hey, somebody's going to do it anyway, so why not these people? Or for all I know, they could be donating it to a charity. I don't know. I just wanted to know how you guys felt about different people and entities making a profit off a man that we saw get killed on TV in 9 minutes. Well, on cell phone camera.
That's a hard one for the simple fact that, like you said, somebody has to do it if we want that motto to get out, if we want that story to get out. So it's no different than when people go and, you know, get the spray painted heaven t-shirts at the funerals and things like that. It's like, it's a way to mourn, and at this point it's a little bit of protests and that type of thing. And so, I mean, you guys can shake your head, but it's
you don't have to let the audience know that. Finish your
point. They're ready to pounce.
We'll let Buff go first because I always get.
Go ahead, though, brother.
They're about to pick on me, guys. Come to my rescue.
Here we go.
Got to play the victim. But I mean, that's why I say I'm torn on it, because I get what you're saying about people capitalizing on it. But whether it's a profit or not, the I Can't Breathe motto was worn by like the the Lakers. Kobe didn't he wear I Can't Breathe t-shirt at warm-ups? Like the thing about it is, it actually serves a purpose. Like, to same way we talked about sharing the video, whether it's good or bad. I think this is one of the things that by having that shirt on, walking around, it brings attention to it because people know what that means. Mm. So you want that. It's basically the same reason why we sell our merch. It's, hey, I want to perpetuate this, you know, thought, or get people to ask about it or talk about it. And it does that. And so you're trying to get that out. So I think that's, yes, people are, okay, it's a product that people want, so I'm going to supply it. That's a little bit of the capitalism part of it. But truthfully, do you really think a white racist person is going to be like, yeah, let me go sell these I Can't Breathe t-shirts so I can make a profit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I thought about selling some Trump stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not beyond my belief that white people would do that. But, let's say that's an extreme thought. My thing is, it's kind of like I've been seeing a whole lot of we need to start supporting more Black businesses and things like that. So here's what I say, because somebody's going to do it. Like whether we think it's tacky or not, somebody's going to do it. That's just the way it is. So if somebody's going to do it and you care about keeping dollars in our community, I would just say research the company, because these, especially if you see like a little company on Facebook, like I purchased something from a company off of Facebook one time and I'll never do it again. It's almost like a scam, dog. It's like it takes so long to get the product. So I would just caution you for any fly-by-night website you see on Facebook, but research it if you decide to do it and just kind of try to see who's behind it. And if you care about them having a cause, like donating to the family or to the defense fund, I mean, not the defense fund, but, in prosecuting the officers in this particular case or whatever like that. So just do your research. Don't just, in my opinion, don't just go buy a shirt just to buy it because it's the trend right now. We don't want to turn this into some type of fashion trend, like a man lost his life, and we need to remember the seriousness of it.
Yeah, I agree with Byron wholeheartedly. Yeah, I think they would absolutely do that, because if they're willing to capitalize off prisons, they're definitely willing to capitalize off a t-shirt. Nothing's stopping them. If that's a trend, if there's a way to make money from it, people are going to do it. And if there's a lot of people out there that have these things because they want to get the message out. They see a need for it. But I think there's just as many people who just want to profit for it. So I think we are responsible to raise our standards and almost have for lack of better terms, approved vendor list. And to be on that approved vendor list, you need to pay into it, as well as certain amount of profits. And we need transparency goes to something that benefits this cause or a approved cause. Because if I'm wearing this shirt and I'm wearing this shirt just to be trendy, then I'm not going to go to it, And so I'm not right, you're not right, whoever is making it is not right. But if I'm really wanting to wear this shirt to get the message out and to support any way I can the issue at hand, and I had to pay extra $2 or $3 because I know that's going to help go to the prosecution fund or go to certain events or the travel for some of these protesters or the court fees for some of these protesters, I'm willing to do that. And we need to up our standards and start spreading that word, saying, hey, we're going to pay more because we support more. This is how I support. We're not getting out there, marching right now. So to pay an extra $3 to have an I Can't Breathe t-shirt, isn't a big thing. But I need to make sure that $3 extra is going to a great cause. I'm tired of people profiting off of the sweat of our brow. They've been doing this since the formation of America. The country was built off of the disdain and the blood and sweat and tears of blacks. And so they're profiting off our death. There's probably some people that had I Can't Breathe t-shirts left over from Eric Garner that like, got them. I can sell these again. Like I wish everybody was, we can sit there and think that everybody's so benevolent and well-wishing, but nothing about America, the 39 years I've been here, leads me to believe that people are just that goodwill and that good nature that they're doing this just to get the message across. I think there's people out there just that will put anything on canvas or cloth to get people to buy it.
I get the group economics piece of it. I get researching the company that you're buying from and knowing who they are. 100%. Where I was going with was the actual sale of the shirt, like not the company, because I feel like the sale of the shirt is fine, unless, like you guys say, it's a white nationalist or it's some company that's just trying to profiteer off of it. Then I'm against it because I'm against that company. So it's one of those things that I'm not trying to enrich that company, because I do try to buy black as much as possible anytime that I can. But the thing about it is, I might be going to this black vendor that still may not be doing anything for the community. At one point, I was, when we were kind of talking through merch. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember. I was talking about making a shirt with all the names on it. All of these folks that have died at the hands of police violence, and I was going to make a shirt with all their names on it. And, it didn't sit right with me as much. And so we didn't go down that road, but I'm sure if we had put it on the site, people would have bought it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, because if I see that shirt, like, I've bought one of those shirts before. So when I wear it, I'm wearing it to get their names out, to remember them by. And so it's a positive thing for me to wear those types of shirts. So the demand is there for it. And so somebody has to supply it.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Like, I think I have no problem with the shirt I don't have a problem with the wearer if the wearer is trying to get the message across. I don't have a problem with the seller if the seller is trying to get the message across. But the seller has, to me, an extra onus to, if you're going to capitalize off this, then you owe. Like, you've done nothing besides, I can't breathe is a catchy phrase. I'm going to put it on a t-shirt and sell it and make money. You haven't been creative. You haven't done anything to me. So I feel like you owe back. There's a certain level of, and the thing about it is, you don't have to, but I would choose not to support you. And it makes me think now that I should be more cautious of who I support, because even if it was us, it doesn't have to be a white supremacist. It could be a black guy who's just an opportunistic person who just, whatever it is, if somebody gets shot next week, hands up, don't shoot, like, whatever's selling. They sold Kobe shirts. They'll sell I Can't Breathe shirts. They'll sell pandemic shirts, coronavirus shirts, whatever it is they're willing to sell. I shouldn't be rocking with you just taking advantage of situations like that.
I feel like that's the problem with us wanting group economics. It almost feels like I want the brother hookup. Like, I want you to sell me this shirt, but your profits need to go somewhere else, not to build your business and get it bigger, so that now we have a black owned Hanes. We have a black owned, t-shirt company that is actually, like, in every store and can get out like that. Like, when you take from people's margins and their bottom line, that's money that they can't put in their business and grow their business.
But so I said I literally said I'm willing to pay extra.
You are, but the market may not be.
But that's what we said.
How many times have you seen a shirt go up and people like, oh, I ain't paying $25 for a t-shirt.
We have to shift I think we have to shift our standards and be willing to pay that, because not because it costs more, just because they're a black business. We understand that this black business is giving to our community some more.
Listen, if the only way they can build their business is off the death of George Floyd or David McAtee or Breonna Taylor, then maybe they don't need to have no business. Like, if you saying the next Black Hanes, so you can't come up with anything more creative to start your business than to capitalize and profit off of death, then I don't. Am I wrong? Like, maybe I don't want to see you. I don't want to see your business thrive.
So are you saying you don't want to see the shirts at all?
No, I'm not saying that, but there's one thing to like sell shirts. That's not necessarily a business. That's just like, hey, I see opportunity or whatever. But if you're gonna like build, like you mentioned Hanes, and maybe I'm just too caught up on Hanes and the company it is that can afford to have Michael Jordan endorse them. But if you're talking about building a company like that, then you do have to do something like Ferg talking about. Like you got to include the family or something. Like you can't just build off that man.
On that, once you get on that level, but the thing about it is, Hanes even started as a small company at one point that couldn't do that. That's what I'm talking about. If I want to grow to Hanes, while I'm still here, while I'm still this small business that's operating out of my garage, or I'm drop shipping still, so I'm trying to just drive traffic and get people into my site, and then I'm going to drop ship it to them. But I'm trying to grow this business, and so every customer makes a difference. Every T-shirt that I sell makes a difference for me to be able to flip this company.
I hate to go there, but put yourself in that family's shoes right now. Think about shirts that could be made right now, and you and your kids see none of it because it was a trend. That's a fucking slap in the face. Or something that would go to something that your wife loved. It's like, oh, I can capitalize off of this. And I'm not saying all your profits. I'm saying a small percentage. And especially if you're established or even a small company, like I have friends that own hat businesses, hat companies and stuff like that. And they made certain things during certain periods of time. But usually from what I've seen, they might up the price $1 or $2 to the point where that extra, and they put it in there. These $2 are going to go to, part of the proceeds go to this fund. I got 50 other T-shirts. This one T-shirt is $2 more, $3 more because it's a message, because it's trending, and that's going to go here. You don't know where to you don't want to donate to this family this way or donate to this. Here's a way to get what you want and donate. Like I have to put myself in those shoes. It's easy to say they don't owe George Floyd's family anything. Maybe they don't owe the family anything, but something good has to come out of that outside of growing my T-shirt business that capitalizes off the death of Black people. That's not a business. That's not a good business. It's a business, obviously. It's definitely a business. And, I mean, but it just made me think like, man, I'll be ready to fight. If I saw a shirt, I'm ready to fight over that. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know the family? Do you know this and this? And of course, everybody doesn't know the George Floyd family, but there's certain things that go, like we're going to do a scholarship. We're going to do this. It's going to do this, and this. It might even be directly to the family, but it's something because we expect businesses to give back to our community, especially if they're part of our community, especially
we do. Millennials do. Everybody doesn't. That's part of the millennial mindset is that giving back portion of it. Like we expect our companies to be conscientious.
But is that wrong? Just because they've
I'm just saying
companies have gotten away with it so long. It's like, you know what? You've been making billions of dollars off of us. At least you can do this. We talk about the companies, especially non-Black companies that are around in the Black neighborhood, and if they're not supporting or giving back to the community, i.e. some stuff that's going on in our hometown, we question it. Why not question our own? Like if you're a Black business and your patrons are Black, you do nothing to help the Black community. I feel like you're getting over. But hey, just me. I don't got a question yet, fellas.
What the hell?
Okay, I'm gonna end it with this. I've been debating on how to ask this. So my question, I guess, is we've been going through this period, and we've been trying to figure out how to deal with stuff. And I think right now a lot of us are at the what can I do stage. What's next? So you guys are both intelligent young men. What are your either ideas, big or small, that we need to do or start working on to help things like this not happen? If you can't stop it from happening, how do we get justice? Do we need black dollars? What's next? What can we do? And if you got like more detailed, actionable items, that's what I would really love to hear. And if there's something you plan on doing personally, please let me know.
So I think this would be an entire episode worth if we were to really just kind of give some full detailed ideas. The number one thing I keep seeing is the whole financial part of it. Like, we need to boycott this, boycott that, spend only here, spend only there, keep our money within the community. And I'm all for that. I'm not here to criticize that. I'm not going to even have too much input on how we should do it because I've seen different ideas on how to do it. When we come up with a majority decision, just know I'm rocking with you. But my question is, because we can't stop there. Like, I think people have this myth that if, let's say we really do it this time, we really keep the dollars in the black community, we create a whole bunch of Atlanta, Harlem, Tulsa, Black Wall Streets, everywhere is predominantly black. We create that. That's not enough. We're only 13% of the country. We still are going to have to work on racism. We always talk about how we had a Tulsa. I mean, we all remember what happened to Tulsa, right? So we had Tulsa, and they came and burned that down. We had other cities just like Tulsa. They came and burned it down. So we see what they're doing with like cities like Washington, D.C., where they're pushing black folk into Maryland and further south into Maryland. We see what's going on. We see how they gentrify Brooklyn and Harlem and things like that. So I'm for the money part. I'm not here to criticize it. I just don't want people to think once we get that we're good. We still going to need, we talked about it a little bit in the last episode, we're going to need people in positions of power. And I'm not just talking about senators and congressmen. I'm talking about judges, the people that's handing down these sentences to us. I'm talking about district attorneys. I'm talking about chiefs of police. I'm talking about superintendents, principals, the ones that call the police on your little 4-year-old because they're having a bad day in class or something like that. We need like-minded individuals, preferably that look like us, in positions of power. We need to attack this on all fronts. So again, I'm reiterating, I'm for all the financial part, but if finances isn't your thing, then there are plenty of lanes for you to fill in. Plenty of them. You know, let's focus on the political part, the activism part, because it's not going to happen overnight. There will be other protests. If you're not a protester, figure out a way to fund them. Figure out a way to bring supplies to them if they're near your city. Figure out a way to maybe put them up in some hotel rooms, especially if they're traveling from out of town. We all can contribute in some way. We all don't have to try to do one thing. We can do many different things. And then maybe we can begin to see a change, man. But I'm telling you, at the end of the day, like I said last week, it's racism. Racism is the problem. And it's a shame that we as black people, as the three of us sit here, have to think of what can we do to stop this? It's like asking a room full of women, what can y'all do to stop men from raping you? What can y'all do to stop men from grabbing your ass or fondling you at an establishment? It's a shame that we, the victims, have to try to think of the solution. And that's not how it should be, but for the most part, that is how it be. There are some great white people that empathize with us and genuinely are trying to help, but for the most part, it's us. And that's a shame, but it's what we got to do. Let me hear from two smarter individuals and see what they got.
Well, you said smart. You said smart. Razi, go.
No. Byron's the smart one on this, man. You know how this stuff works, the inner workings of it. I mean, you know, you sit there and you listen to the Senate and you listen to them like bicker, but at the same time debate and talk through the policies. So I agree and echo everything that you said. The financial part, yes, we have to try to keep the dollars in, but we also have to try to force the hand of these large corporations or build our own large corporations. But for the most part, we have to. I think there's an infographic out there that like 10 companies owns every other company in the world or some junk like that. Like, you know, or 80% of the companies. It's something crazy, but like we have to look at those companies and those conglomerates, and we have to force their hand. So if they aren't doing anything, then we have to divest from them and go somewhere else. Whether that is, you know, I always joke about going to get Ray J's, Raycons or whatever like that instead of going to get some Beats. But the thing about it is that's the type of stuff that we're going to have to do. We're going to have to stop looking down on our people's products like they're less than or they're inferior. I mean, I know, I can't remember who it was. I think it was Shaq that came out with some sneakers that was made literally in the same factory that Nike sneakers are made in. Like he uses the same manufacturer, sold them for like $20 a sneaker or whatever. And people look down on the sneakers like they were bad just because they didn't have that Nike swoosh on them and they didn't have the marketing behind it.
He made some money too.
Yeah, he made a lot of money off of it, actually. But still, the thing was, if you had them, those were Bobos, though. So let's not get it twisted. If you walked out in those, you were probably going to get talked about. So that's the part we got to stop talking about the lesser known brand like it's bad. You know, a brand. So in that, we just have to stop chasing brands in general.
And that's crazy too, because we make everything cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we helping all these, I don't want to keep saying white, but we're helping all the big name brands. And like you say, looking down on Shaq and Stephon Marbury try to do the same thing as well. But we're the ones that make everything cool. So let's start doing it for black brands.
Yeah, and that's what Ray J tried to do with Raycon, but the problem is he didn't have the celebrity that really pull it off. But he's making money off of those. Actually, he's making really good money off of those. But that's what we need. I can't remember what's the picture where it has Diddy and Jay-Z and a couple, and it was like multi-billions of dollars in that one circle. I mean, there's no way that they can't, if they want to, just launch their own brand and just make it huge. So my hat's off to Diddy and all those other folks. Like, if you're not drinking Ciroc, if you want to drink vodka, we might need to talk about that. Like, there are, you know, African American. We're in the bourbon group. There's an African American bourbon company out. There's a couple of them actually. If you're not looking for those and trying to drink that, then that's how you keep money flipping inside of our circles. And then from there, like you talked about with, we need judges. I think I mentioned that in a previous episode. We need people going in that feel like us, look like us, empathize with us, know about us. Bruh, it got to the point after looking at everything with George Floyd, I Googled how to set up a town. Like, do we need to just create our own town and go back to where we're Tulsa? Yeah, like build a Wakanda. You talked about having Atlantas everywhere, and that's what we need. We need to really start going back to the cities that make a difference for us, so then we can put a police chief in. The mayor looks like us. The DA in that city looks like us, or not looks like us. Even if they don't look like us, they empathize with us because they live with us every day. It's not where they live in the nice suburb, but then they come in town to, you know, to be the administration for that town. Like, they need to live in that city. They need to live in that town, in the heart of that town, and before they can actually really be administering it. And that's hard to find because not a lot of people are going to try to live in a median income, area when they're making the top 10% in income. So there's a lot of things that we need to do, but the biggest part is just be active. We got to get active in all of these things. There's not a single prong attack where we can be like, oh, we just do finances or we just go vote, because just voting isn't going to do it either. Because like you said, we're only 13% of the population, and we're even, I keep saying it, and we're an even smaller amount of the electorate. So going to vote, we might sway one or two things here. What we need to do is really try to compress and consolidate in an area, and then really try to control and manage that area. So that's my biggest thing. I mean, do you think those two officers that tased the kids in Atlanta would have got fired had they been in Oklahoma?
Nope. I work in Oklahoma.
Definitely not. They would have. I mean, the blue line would have, or the blue wall would have went up, and they would have been straight.
Yep. So I agree with everything you all said. But I think that's part of it. But I think that's difficult because you're asking for a complete mindset shift, a paradigm shift. And I said it when I was talking to you guys in Ani Barack Hussein Obama III the other day. I think it has to be simple and sustainable, especially in the beginning, until we get the wheels and the balls rolling. And I kind of mentioned to you guys my thought process, and I've been thinking about it for a while, and I need to actually look into it. And it might be a long shot, but I want to say it's an autobiography of Malcolm X. I've been reading a lot of books over the years, so I'm just assuming it's there. But when he was talking about black economics and saying how little each Black American family would have to donate to create a lump sum of Black funds. So we always talk about, we throw the number around how many Black people in America. It's safe to say it's over 45 million Black people in America. So my thing is something as simple as finding a way to get a one fund or small funds, multiple funds where we can pour into. And it could be based off a city, but it's the same organization. Call it like the Black Census or something similar, just for a lack of names. And you just ask for people to contribute monthly. 45 million Black Americans. And you say, hey, I want everybody in your family to donate $1 per person in your household per month. That's the minimum we're asking. Even though we got 50% participation, we're talking about $22.5 million a month. At the end of the year, we're talking over $250,000 that we have. And my thing is you create an app or something, whatever, where you push notification out. Hey, Razi, you ready to pay your $3 this month?
$250 million.
$250 million. You press yes, your $3 goes. You just ask people for simply, you want to donate $1 per person, $3 per person, $5 per person. We're talking something as simple as that. And I don't know the details. I don't know how to set up something that large, whatever the case may be. But I think it's so easy for everybody to get on board with something like that. And that goes to what you were saying, Byron, when we're talking about building, because I don't want to just have that money sitting. When we're talking about judges and sheriffs and people who have our interests at heart, when we say in the city of Mobile, because Mobile has their own chapter, and all the Blacks in Mobile who stay in a certain zip code or whatever the case may be, that fund goes to that area. And Mobile is sitting on, at the end of the 2021, $25 million. And everybody who's a registered member of this organization, whatever the case may be, has a vote per household and saying, do we want to support Sheriff Mancarella? Here's his platform. And guess where I see his platform on? This same app.
Ferg, you just described a political action committee. That's what a PAC is.
I know that, but I'm saying we don't.
I was thinking lobbyists or something like that, but yeah.
Well, that's what it is. That's what a political action committee does. Is they hire lobbyists.
But it doesn't happen on our level, though. I'm saying my mom is not into politics, but to ask my mom to donate $2 for the household is not a huge ask. It's that small. Over the course of the year, it's my mom and my stepdad in that house. That's $2. That's $24 for the household. Can you donate that? They might not know. They might not even vote, but they know we have that money, and it's buying power. For me, it's the stance. That's what a lobbyist is. I was talking, but we have, as a community, in 1 year, we raised $500 million. Rozzy, you are talking all this stuff about politics, and you're a great candidate, and we like what you have lined up. Here are our lists. Lobbying. This is what we need. Do you want this $2 million? Yes or no? Well, we need to see this on your platform. We need to see how you're going to make this happen. And we don't, I know, Byron, you're about to go into it.
No, I was going to say there's a brother in South Carolina within the margin of error running against Senator Lindsey Graham. And your idea, because with him being so close and the black population in South Carolina alone, that could probably give him the push. Like what you're saying, I'm just imagining, man, it's a beautiful idea. And go ahead. I mean, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just was thinking about it, though.
And I don't know the details. It would take you and Rozzy with the financial background, the political background to execute it. But just think about an app. And then you have our black businesses. We've been talking about black businesses. They buy into that. They support that. That's how you get on that list, that We Buy Black. Like it's a whole black community where you're saying, hey, these are issues. These are things we're talking about. You might have to pay some people to work. You know, would you take a $70,000 job, maybe not you, but a $70,000 job to go lobby for what we need, like certain funds? And that's how to me, it's not that simple, but it's like our buying power is there.
Yeah, it is.
We can come up with, if we ask every black person to donate $10 to $15 for the year,
we just gonna call it Black Pack.
But you know what we would run into because Nicole on a smaller level, Nicole Petit tried to do this. She was gonna try to like do something in Pritchard, and like Razio said, we've been beaten down so much we don't even trust each other.
And that's the thing about it. But the thing about it, how much does it take? How much do I have to trust you to give you $15? We're not asking for a lot. And I think that's the thing. It's like, we have to start somewhere. That's why I'm saying, Rozzy, are you about to argue with me about trust over $1? I'm talking about $1, sir. $12 for the year.
You gotta, so here's the thing. You're asking for $1, but you can't talk 45 million people and $1 in Mobile. That's 45 million people nationwide. And so you're asking a person in California to give money so that we can donate to a person in North Carolina.
No, that's what I was saying.
To change, but
that's kind of what we're doing now. That's how the tax dollars work. Like New York and California, they're pretty much paying for Alabama and Mississippi.
So I don't have the details. That's why I was saying it might be chapters. So it might be the people in Mobile, or it might be Alabama might be broken up into areas. It might be 4 parts of area. Alabama, they have 4 districts and they split the money and those things go where needed. And yes, I can't expect somebody in Texas to pay for something going on in Cali unless we realize that. And that's why you have to have committees and, a budget and certain things. Like it's going to go to, we're going to have certain agendas and stuff like that. And we're going to North Carolina because we can flip the Senate if that happens, and so those types of things. And that's what we have to understand. And so we can say, hey, in Mobile we have $17 million. We're not saying we're sending our whole $17 million there, but we're willing to donate $500,000. And if every one of these chapters donates $50,000. And they gets all the way to California, we have 200 chapters across the nation. You're like, we're talking about money going where we need. And the thing about it at least teaches us how to play this game. And it might just be what's going on in Mobile. It might be what's, but it starts somewhere. And the point of the matter was, like I said, I don't have all the details and it could be far-fetched, but that's how much buying power we have. We're saying if everybody donated 45, I've seen 48 million, but 45 million Black people donated $10 to $12 each.
So in your plan, you're not even asking people to boycott anything. You just
because you're trying to get them to do something long. Man, I'm hungry. Yeah. You tell me not to go to Walmart. Like Walmart, don't change that. All I'm saying is, Byron, damn, check your text message. Oh, it's today's the 4th. Oh, it's $3 in the house. I pay my $3 on the 4th of every month. Hit go. It's over. Done. No questions asked. Did that $3 hurt you? Did you have to think about, man, I wonder if I'm gonna pay this $3 this month? It's, I'll set up an automatic payment. And you're saying, and you're making it very small. I don't want you, if you want to donate more, that's separate. We're saying consistently $1, $3, or $5 per person in your household. Mancarella household might donate 15. Y'all ballin'. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are things that we get and we just keep riding with it. And what I want to say was Malcolm X. When he said that, I was like, you're right, man. It doesn't take that much money one time. We go to Biden's campaign. People want to say they want to see Biden have a Black agenda. We got a $250 million to put something on your campaign that deals with us. We need to see something on this, and this. And some of it might be national, like 10% of all local funds go to our national committee. Like, I don't know the details, but to me, we got to start somewhere. And if we mess it up, dog, I gave $12 over the course of the year. It didn't work. You got $12 out of my money. I done lost $12 this year.
Shit, that's a 6-pack of Stella Artois.
I'm sorry, I got passionate about it because I'm like, I get frustrated because I'm like, man, are we making things too difficult?
It's a serious idea that definitely can be built upon.
Yeah. So you trying to initiate it? Is what you're trying to say? So that's the thing.
I don't know where to start, man. I don't know where to start.
Because that's the thing. I mean, we can definitely help research it and find some attorneys, some political activists, and all that to get it together. That's not the issue. The issue is the fundraising part. It's the getting people to sign up and say, yes, I will give you that $1.
And that's why I said it's such a small part, because I think the average Black person wants to help and wants to be a part. They just don't want to be inconvenienced. So like if it was an app or a link and because social media is easy. Like if I started today, I got this link and it was already set up and I'm like, hey dog, check your text message. And I told both of y'all about it. And it became viral. Everybody signed, like if it becomes viral, Black people won't sign up for it. They're gonna sign up for it. It is what it is. We'll sign up. And it's not hard. Like if I gotta beg you, dog, so you're telling me you can't give $1 a month. How many times have you gone to McDonald's or freaking CVS and they're like, do you want to donate $2 to St. Jude's? And you're like, yeah, screw it. Like you do it without thinking about it. This is our St. Jude's. This is our whatever place Black organization or that dollar you gave someplace else here. This is us. We're asking once a month. So my time's up, fellas.
I like it. I
definitely like it, man. We're going to discuss it some more offline.
Hopefully one of our listeners, any of our listeners that are political activists or have ideas like that or know how we can get this going, please reach out to us. I'm not acting like I'm any smarter than anybody else, and I definitely don't have the connections or know how to get this going, but I feel like it's worth a try. So with that being said, we're about to close it on out. Fellas, what do you have to leave them with?
Birthday boy, you want to go first?
Yeah, man. I talked about the anime drought that we got going on right now. And so one of my birthday gifts was Baki the Grappler is launched on Netflix season 2. So if you like anime and you like boxing and martial arts, it's serious, man. It's a really, really good anime. So that dropped today. And I don't know if you guys watch Space Force. or heard about it. It's actually pretty good. It's more serious than I thought. And for Steve Carell to be in it, you kind of thought it was going to be slapstick and very high or like comedy, but it's not. It's more dry comedy, which kind of fits with him, but it's a lot more serious than I thought coming from a military side of somebody launching a new branch. They make fun of like the Coast Guard in it. And so one of the things in it, he talks about, you know, they're launching the Space Force. And so the Coast Guard is like, whoa, at least I'm not last anymore. And they're like, no, you're definitely still last. Like, even with the Space Force launching. So like, it's funny, man. But at the same time, I think it has some seriousness to it if you're watching it for like, how to launch a new branch of the military and that type of thing. So, give it a try, man. And I think some of you might like it.
Well, first off, I want to give a huge shout out to Mike James. First off, brother, you reached out to me, man, during my time of loss. I really appreciate that. I hope I expressed it in my response. Second, I just like the consistency that he listens to the show. He shares it. I think we started getting some followers just because of you sharing the show. So thank you for that. Leslie Yates, you left a great comment about the last episode. So we love that kind of stuff. We love the feedback. So thank you guys for that. I also wanted to say, you know, the tone of last week's episode, there was a lot of anger. I know a lot of people are feeling that anger. You're probably feeling despair as well if you feel like you can't do anything about your anger. We mentioned how we got COVID going on, so we're still kind of stuck in the house. Just to try to help you look at the bright side, and don't get me wrong, it's still very dark. But think about this for a second. There was a protest in every state in this country for a black life that was lost. And I know you can say, man, you know, that's how it should be and the nature of the murder. I get all that. But when have you seen that? There ain't even no black people in Utah, man, other than the Utah Jazz. They protested for a black life.
And they're still protesting.
Iowa is like 96% white. They protested, man. So all I'm saying is, let's try to use this energy. Let's use this despair, this anger. We had it on this episode last week, and look what you got this week. You got Ferg coming up with an idea that we probably can build upon. So let's bottle up this energy we have, even if it's negative right now. Let's bottle it up. Let's keep it. Don't let it go this time. We had Ferguson. We had Tamir Rice. We had Eric Gardner. We had way too many names on the list. George Floyd is probably not going to be the last one. Matter of fact, what was it? A few days later, David McAtee, Breonna Taylor. So this isn't going to stop. You know, it doesn't matter how much we riot or protest. And I know we went back and forth on that last week. It's not going to stop. So we need to keep the energy this time, and let's find what we can do to help. You can't, donate to this charity or that charity. You may not be into politics or whatever case it is. Find something you can do. And when it's time to have that big idea, be ready to unite. Even if it's not an idea that you totally understand, it's time to unite, man. It's time to unite. I know I'm on a soapbox right now, but I just wanted you guys to have some hope, man, that Birmingham, Alabama, Mobile, Alabama, our hometown, they were protesting. You know what I'm saying? Like, this one feels different. I've been wrong before. I thought Ferguson felt different. We kind of let it go. This one feels different. So I hope I'm right this time. Keep that energy. Reach out to people. And let's make something happen, man. Let's make something happen off this one, because the way that dude was killed in front of our eyes with that officer, hands in his pocket, looking smug, he deserves nothing less than the death penalty. And he's probably not going to get that. He probably won't even get 20 years. That's if he's convicted. But we need to build on this. Don't let that rage and anger you felt when you saw that video be for nothing. Don't let it be for nothing. Let's do something.
Man, that was powerful, man.
Hold on. Before you get to yours, I just want the listeners to know how serious Byron has to be for him to bring up the death penalty, because Byron has talked me off of the death penalty, and he has been against the death penalty since pretty much like right out of high school. We had that first conversation about that, and he's against the death penalty to the nth degree. For him to bring that up and even say that for this instance that's a big deal. So I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. And I was talking to Z the other day. This feels different. And I think it's different just because notice there's no that stand your ground, that defending your life, you were scared for your life. That argument's out the window. You can't hide behind that anymore. You can't say you had a knee-jerk reaction and you just made a quick mistake. You had over 8 minutes to realize that you were wrong. And at no point did you adjust or change your tone. This man had a total disregard for life.
He had people begging him, Ferg. He had people begging him.
He had a man dying begging him. Not even people. Like, this dude is begging for his life, calling for his dead mother, and you have not flinched. You are with your hands in your pocket. And so I think that's what's different. You can't say, well, he was scared. Dude, when I played football, when I ran track, when I was in the military, one of the most you know what we did to relax? We took a knee. Like you are in the most comfortable position that almost outside of sitting down, you're comfortable. You're taking a knee on this man's neck for 8 minutes. And I think the world, because you were talking about the U.S., they are protesting around the world. And I don't know if people realize, and I could be wrong, but the $20 was not fake.
Oh yeah, that's true. It wasn't fake. Yeah.
Yeah, the $20 wasn't fake. So this is almost another Karen type episode, or like somebody called the police on a black man because they assumed that he was doing something wrong, and he lost his life. Man, people, don't let your anger consume you. Use it to be proactive. Figure out what you're going to do. I hope everybody who is angry, everybody that hears the sound of our voice or listens to our show or shares our show or reads our comments, tell your friends, your family, don't let this be the end. Don't let this die down and get upset again after next go around, because it's going to happen. With that being said, Three Brothers No Sense. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Happy birthday, Razi. We'll see y'all next week.